Well, hey, good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BlueGamer Bluecast morning show. I was about to say music show. That's how, or I tell you, the past couple days waking up has been so tough, but it is 6:20. I don't know if that really has anything. 6:20, 2024. This is the daily video game morning talk show where I, a professional video game enthusiast of 30 plus years, Adam Blue, will cover news and industry insights along with what I've been getting into. So, yeah, that's right. Woke up this morning, got myself a nice cup of water, sat down to start looking at some of the news, and there's some cool stuff to talk about. Nintendo had its thing, and so other type of news that comes out is just gonna like trickle in. But yeah, there's still a lot of music show is the spinoff. It could be. It could be. Music is a big deal to me. So good to see Autonomous, JamKelX. Good to see you guys in the chat. Okay. So let's real quick. I'm going to share my screen and go to Exophase to see if that loads. I think I got to load my profile. So what I've been playing. Yeah, Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, of course, obviously. Getting near the end again. But also Mega Man Zero, ZX Legacy Collection. So there's this website Fanatical. That's just another place to buy games. They had this deal, 2 games for $15, and they had a lot of cool games. And one in particular is one that I really wanted to play. That's River City Girls 2. I have beat the first one. Excellent game. Almost excellent. it's almost a great side-scrolling beat 'em up. There's some things it does that sort of makes it a bit grindy, you know, kind of prolongs some sections of it. But yeah, I can't wait to get to the second one. They got good production value. Ultronimus, you're saying ZX is a Metroidvania. Wow, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, and that's the thing. So I played the older Mega Mans, played a little bit of X, but then after that, I didn't really play Mega Man anymore. I think yeah, once everyone moved on from Super Nintendo, I think I kind of just stopped. The original, the first one I played was the first one on PC, which was a kind of a weird port, but yeah, that was back before I even had an NES because my dad had PC, and so he'd have the latest stuff. ZX is the only Metroidvania. Again, that heart on the YouTube page, block stuff, but it works with the biometals concept. Oh, there we go. I can move this down. Okay, haha. Yeah. I don't know a lot of the lore of Mega Man, except from the originals. And even then, the lore is a little loose. Yeah, but I'm really interested in playing this or getting into these because I started Zero last night just to play for a little bit, and I loved the graphics, I loved the shooting, I loved the gameplay. I could see myself playing that a lot more. And this is one of those things where I come to a point where it's like, okay, do I play on an emulator and use the retro achievements, or do I play this actual release that has achievements? I tend to steer toward the actual release. But then if I like it a whole lot, then I'll do the emulator stuff. That's kind of like with the Castlevania games. Like I've played, the Advanced Collection and all that, love it. But I like that I have my own little collection that I'm playing that I have. I don't know. It's my own little thing. So that's that. Yeah, River City Girls, Mega Man Zero. I will be off and on playing them maybe for the year just because later today we get Elden Ring. Actually, let's get into that. Let me I have lost all of my screens. No, they're right here. Okay, unlock time. Let me move this here. Here's Shadow of the Erd Tree, which I gotta say, that name Erd Tree, I tend to not say Shadow of the Erd Tree. I say Elden Ring DLC. It's just, the name just does not work for me. Shadow of the Erd Tree. Erd Tree. There's something about saying Erd Tree. Anyway, 3 p.m. PDT, June 20th. So if I am seeing this correctly, and this is PC, that I could play it at 5 p.m. Central PC, which is perfect timing because the Gundam Explained live show is at 4 Central to 5. So as soon as I'm done there, I can jump into some Elden Ring. It's just interesting seeing the times there. It's just, yeah, as it says, complicating matters further. It's different on console. So, the very first players getting access to Shadow of the Erd Tree will be console players in New Zealand at midnight. So that's where I need to move. No, but yeah, I can't wait. I haven't even been watching trailers, looking at stuff. I will sometimes see things in passing. Someone had mentioned that this DLC is supposed to be a little easier. I've also heard people say it's harder, but that it's easier in terms of its leveling system. It might be different. That would be weird. But apparently it's easier to level. I don't know. I just can't wait to play this. That's, yeah. Later today. Okay, let's move on. What should we get to next? I'll just look at this. XDefiant is getting Team Deathmatch tomorrow. So I've been thinking about XDefiant, even though I haven't been playing it, because I played it and I said it's fine. It plays like Call of Duty. It really does. It's just, and I realize that's actually what they're having to go for here, because it's a free-to-play Call of Duty, pretty much. Whereas right now, Call of Duty, you have to buy it. There's Warzone, sure, but for the classic multiplayer, if you still want to do just classic multiplayer stuff like Deathmatch, which I see why they're doing this kind of delayed release, Um, you know, kind of having that objective mode in just to kind of get people used to playing, and then drop the team deathmatch. This could get me to play. You know, I kind of like the characters they have going on in the world. You know, this reminds me of something. Years and years and years and years and years ago, over 10 years ago by now, there was a report, and someone was actually joking around that like Eidos, was it Eidos? No, Square Enix. And I was even thinking it might have been Ubisoft, but I forget. But anyway, it was where some guys like, yeah, they're gonna get all the characters. You know, the publisher's gonna get all their characters like an MCU and make a game that features all the characters. And I was like, oh wow! So I made a post about it, and then people were like, oh no, that's fake. That's not real. And I'm like, well, it seems like it'd be a good idea. But now I'm seeing that that's what these companies are doing now. They are, you know, smashing their properties together. And I thought that was very interesting about XDefiant. I didn't know what to expect. I could see myself getting back into that actually. We'll see. The Gundam stuff for Call of Duty didn't really. It was cool. I had the Call of Duty points to buy the RX-78 too. It was cool to look at it. It had some missions you can do, and I just wasn't feeling it. It looks cool though. I'm glad I got it, but it's just maybe a little late. Yeah. Anyway, so it was released on May 21st, and they're getting the team deathmatch June 21st. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious what others think of this because it's actually pretty good. I was like, well, I have Call of Duty, but maybe I don't know. I feel like sometimes I think more about playing video games than actually playing video games. But that's not true. This is just a 30-minute thing. Okay. Captain Blood, a hack and slash pirate game revealed in 2004, will finally release in 2024. That's always a cool story. And who knows how much that's true, because I was just told the longest game in development was Metroid Prime 4. But this is longer. Anyway, I was just looking at some of the video here. Some of the combat actually looks pretty neat. I mean, again, it said 2004, but look at this hack and slash gameplay. There's some pretty neat things going on. It's almost like it looks older, but it's modernizing like the animations. Seeing a lot of blood, a lot of action. I'm seeing a lot of cutscene stuff. So, like, look at that. I mean, that looks like a lot of fun. So does it say, okay, let's go to the Steam page. Oh, I think, did it just say fall? Let's see. Coming soon. Okay. You know, this does look cool. Let me click on the Seawolf Studio. So that's like their first game, you know? Cool on them. Oh, no, I'm trying to click on something else. Let's see. Okay. Interesting. So this company they're working with is a company that does ports. Oh, that's cool. So it's almost like they're getting a legit, like, okay, here's this old game. It didn't get released. Let's look at it and kind of make it work for modern PCs. Blade of Darkness, that looks cool. I don't even know what that is. Oh, it kind of looks, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Kind of looks the same, hack and slash, old graphics. That looks pretty neat, actually. I'll have to keep my eye out for. Actually, let me just add this to my wish list right now, just in case. $14.99 is not bad. Hey, Rogue New Type, good to see you. MMX Timeline is my favorite of the series, but MM is my early childhood, so always has a place in my heart. So yeah, I need to finish the other Mega Man games. I mean, I think that's part of my DNA anyway. And I've been wanting to do a segment on the channel where I'm playing games I've never played before. Yeah, I'm just not doing that yet once I get like the time. Anyway, Going back, Captain Blood. That looks cool. Okay. Actually, a lot of these games look cool. Shadow Warrior Classic. I think I even own that, even though it doesn't say. I don't know if you guys have played. No, I don't own it. Let me add. Huh. I don't know if you guys have played Shadow Warrior, but that was like at the time when we got Doom and Duke Nukem. This as the next step was hilarious. Okay. Okay, according to Windows Central, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection is skipping Xbox because Capcom lacks a pipeline for porting MT framework games to the series consoles. So, I was curious in a way about this port, but it makes sense now that it's more of like, well, here's a way that we can get some games out there. The X-Men 97 just, came out recently and that got a lot of attention. So it's like when they want to port something like this, they have limited options, but it's like it's cool they're doing it anyway. But yeah, I was looking that up. So yeah, here's the rest. They also apparently can't port the MT framework games natively to PS5, which is why almost all these collections lack native PS5 versions. They just run off of PS4 ports. The MT framework engine isn't supported on the Xbox Series of PS5 consoles, and while it used to be supported on Xbox One, it isn't anymore as of 2021. I have no idea why. Yeah, and I think that has to do with them moving on from MT framework. But it's neat that it's just interesting to think. Like the only reason it's on PS5 is because they're making it for PS4 and it's just backwards compatible, which is very interesting. And then you'd think you could do that for Xbox One then, when they were saying, let's see, because the series used to have the ability. Oh, well, okay, it used to be supported on Xbox One. Okay, so I see. So it doesn't even work on Xbox One anymore, but it does on PS4, so they can have a PS4 port on the PS5. That's interesting. So to me, this seems more like, hey, let's make some money. Let's release this. Oh, it doesn't work on this platform. That's fine. We're just trying to make money. That's what it seems like. So, but not that I'm complaining. These games. I mean, I think there's a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Xbox Live Arcade. Anyway, I think most of these are on Xbox Live Arcade and backwards compatible anyway. So it's just this collection, I guess. That's interesting. All right. I have another thing. Let's actually look at news real quick. And then we can jump back into this little article I found. Okay. PlayStation Portal's latest update is now available, so curious if that improves any of the streaming. I feel like this is something I need to get. It's just I can do this with other things, except this has the DualSense controller. If I see it cheap somewhere, I'll grab it. Okay, let's see what else. Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Vengeance have sold 1.6 million. That's excellent news. Are games consoles facing extinction? Answered. No, I'm joking. It's hard to say. I feel like there's always probably going to be this lull where it seems like it, and then there's going to be a reason people are going to come back, just like anything else. So, all right. Elden Ring, can't wait. Xbox has started refunding players who bought canceled Redfall DLC. My brother started playing this, and he says it's actually pretty fun. And I've heard that. It has this sort of basic fun loop to it, even though I might need to just... I did play it, actually. I did play it, but I need to give it more time, maybe just for fun. It's more of this morbid curiosity of something that looks pretty cool. The name Redfall, something to do with vampires. That seems awesome. Okay, let's see. PlayStation skipping Gamescom. Interesting. Yeah, the XDefiant Deathmatch sounds fun, actually. I might even save this image, because that might be a good one for the thumbnail. Let's see. yeah, the refunding going on. Let me move this over just a bit. Some more sales numbers for things. Oh, how to beat Moog and start Shadow of the Erd Tree. Well, that's cool because yeah, I'm already here. So yeah, just waiting to play. I've been thinking about this forever. Amazon Luna adds games from GOG and launches in 3 more countries. That's neat. Yeah, because I feel like this Luna thing could be cool, and I've done it a couple times, but I haven't had a need that this then fulfilled. But I'm open to it. Another supersized Fallout mod is in trouble. Yeah, the thing with Fallout and mods or Starfield is very interesting. I was watching this video yesterday, so if you have Starfield on console, someone is showing like they loaded up Starfield, went to creations, and then added these mods that just made the game better, which is cool that you can do that on console. So heads up there. Bluepoint Games is still working on an original title. So while they could be working on an original title, they could also be working on the Bloodborne expansion or Bloodborne port, which one thing I will say is Demon's Souls, the port on PS5, which is fantastic, does have a look that makes it feel a little different. I think that's just because the graphics are so good, like you can see everything clearly. I'd be curious how Bloodborne would fare with that, because Bloodborne, good graphics, but is right on the edge of PS4 before like the Pro style stuff came out. So it could do some work. It could use some work. Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil delisted, so that could mean the 20th anniversary reveal is happening. Which I started the original, never played much through it. Should I? They keep teasing the sequel. Let me know if you guys have played Beyond Good and Evil. Okay, well, okay, so there could be some more news, but I did some searching. I didn't see much more, and it's just repeating the same thing over and over. Bluepoint, PlayStation, skipping Gamescom. So I pulled this up because this always tickles my fancy. Movies, love movies, video games, video games. As a kid, it was a wild time. Okay. Let's see. Video game adaptations are still a fairly new phenomenon in the grand scheme of things. Is it really though? I feel like it's not. With the majority of them dating back to the early 90s or later, however that works for a video game, what works for a video game may not necessarily translate to another medium. It is for this reason and many others that adaptations may not always be 100% accurate to the games that they are based off. These less accurate adaptations are largely live-action films, in part due to limitations concerning runtime, as well as what can be portrayed in live action. Here are some adaptations that significantly change the narrative of the video game, whether altering basic facts about a character's backstory or changing the entire premise of the series. Some adaptations tend not to stick too closely to the script. Yeah. Blood Rain Trilogy. So, wow, was this a trilogy of films? So, Uwe Boll remains a controversial figure for gamers and film nerds alike. Yeah, he first did the House of the Dead movie, and I remember watching that in theaters and being like, how did this get made? If this got made, I could make anything. I could make a movie. Blood Rain is one of many video games he has attempted to translate to film. The hack and slash series follows a Dampier, a half vampire, half human, by the name of Rain. With the aid of the brimstone, I don't know if we need that. He plays around with the timeline, with the first being set before the original game. The sequel takes place in the Wild West. Let's see. Yeah, and the actress that played her in the first one was the T3 actress, wasn't it? And then the actress in the second one was Ayane in Dead or Alive, I think, which is a good idea. Let's see. Wow. Other notable cast members include Meatloaf and Billy Zane. So I never watched these. And then the third one, oh no, Oh, I was talking about the Dungeon Siege. I remember In the Name of the King when it had like uh Jason Statham, and it was nothing. That was like a time when I realized, like, with movies, it's like, okay, somehow these people can make a really good looking movie, but it's a bad movie. Like, how does that happen? Mortal Kombat Conquest. Okay, Mortal Kombat. This has to be the TV series, right? That is pretty cool. The main diversion point was the finale, originally intended as a cliffhanger. Shao Kahn summons his Shadow Priest to kill off a majority of the cast, including Kung Lao. Okay. Yeah, never. I watched it, but I never like finished it or like followed the narrative through. That's okay. Rampage. Brad Payton. Okay, this is the guy that did Atlas that I just saw, the mech movie. I reviewed it on Gundam Explained. It's actually good if you like that stuff, while you can also still see the not so good. I saw Rampage and actually thought it was pretty good. I don't think it really needed any like it. What premise does it need to stick to? Because it says it modifies the premise, but also the point of view. The mutants in Rampage games were all humans, whilst in the film they originate as animals. Okay, well, that's a big difference. The film also focuses on a human cast in addition to the monsters. That would have made a much more compelling, dramatic movie if, in fact, these monsters were humans at one point and we're trying to figure out, do we help them? Like, that's more compelling. Harder to write, maybe. King of Fighters 2010. I can't believe I haven't watched this. I need to watch that. I'm going to watch it tonight because I love video games, fighting games, and movies. So a fighting game movie is pretty cool. Let's see. This adaptation makes the decision to hold the fights in an alternate dimension, which can be connected to via Bluetooth technology. Oh my God. Maybe I don't watch this movie. Why? Why? All right, Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, look, inoffensive. It was fine. You know, you could tell though they're making it so they made the Sonic movie so that anyone could watch it, even though there's already a backstory and details to Sonic to make a movie, like kind of how Marvel does with the comics. They just take the comics and adapt it. This Sonic story is just some made up story. Which again, it's an okay movie, but why do they make up some story? Like it exists as a rare Sonic adaptation where humans outnumber the animals as principal characters. Yeah, that's another big thing it does. But Tekken, yet another fighting game movie I need to watch. Hopefully there's no Bluetooth technology to go to another dimension. It focuses on a cruel corporate and corrupt family. Okay, yeah, that is the story. So let's see. The storyline is shifted to take place in a dystopian corporatocracy. Oh, kind of like modern day, where companies run the world directly. Okay, so yeah, that's not too far off. Okay, here we go. The Super Mario Brothers movie, 1993. I remember being in the theater watching this the whole time, just going, "What? What?" Like I didn't know. It's so weird. Like thinking when I was a kid, what I saw in a video game and what I saw in the movies, where my mind is like, okay, when these adults are trying to translate this, they don't know what's happening, so they see like, okay, red, okay, they jump, and then they just make something up, and it was so weird to wrap my head around. It's been interesting since then learning how they got to this specific script for this and for it to be so different. They got filmmakers that are known to make compelling movies. It just didn't work with this mashup. And it makes sense because nowadays you see what the Mario Brothers movie looks like, and it looks like Mario Brothers. The Barbie movie looks like Barbie. That's the thing that will help and will work with these adaptations, is to make them look and feel like the game. Even if they have to do differences, Last of Us looks and feels like the game. Little differences. Um, Street Fighter. This is one I saw in the theaters and I liked it. I don't even remember having a problem with it at the time. I wonder if there is a problem with it. And even to me when I was younger, yeah, the film swaps the game's premise of one-on-one combat for an all-out war. Like even at that age, I was like, it's hard to do a fighting game where it's just okay, one on one, and then another one on one, and seeing like Cammy and Guile together, not knowing the video game lore as much, but just seeing it in the movie was like, okay, that makes sense. There is this good guy military force and the bad guy force, all that stuff. That's about it. Out of all of those, they didn't. It's interesting. Okay, so because these are movies that veered far from the narrative. So in that case, I would say Sonic is probably the best one in terms of made as a production, like a well-made, highly produced production. Otherwise, like the stuff like Street Fighter is fun. Mario is still fun, even though it's goofy. I got to see Tekken and King of Fighters. That's for sure. So let's see, jump into chat. Well, Sonic has legal issues with the comics. I didn't know. So the stuff they could use are Forces Onward. Interesting. So they can't use stuff from previous Sonic games? Sonic 2 kind of had some old Sonic stuff. The only video game movie that was good enough was Mortal Kombat 1995. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, that's a good point because that was a long time ago, and it was still really good. I remember seeing that in theaters too. I think, I don't know if it was a birthday or just a a party, but I just remember a bunch of us going to the mall, play some video games. They had like some Mortal Kombat stuff set up for like the new Mortal Kombat game, and then we also went saw the movie, and then someone got me the soundtrack, not the movie soundtrack, but that other soundtrack, The Immortals. I loved that music. Oh man. Rogue New Type, definitely the stunts and martial arts in the movie are still top notch. Yeah, they are. But here's the thing, like they're making another Mortal Kombat movie. They need to hire martial arts directors and stunt teams to perform. They still do that, but it's more of within like the Hollywood framework of getting an action director, and not like, okay, this movie is rooted in martial arts, let's make it all about that. The comics that covered every Sonic before Forces was Archie, and those are mired with legal issues. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, Games Are Fine, comics are bloody minefield. Yeah, if they just copy the game's stories, which apparently this Sonic 3 movie is going to, it's going to combine Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. So that would be cool. Well, that just about does it all. Thanks for tuning in and watching. That was pretty cool. Not a lot of crazy news, but I thought there was some cool stuff to talk about. Anyway, but yeah, so tonight, oh yeah, we've got the Gundam Explained live show. That's going to be happening later this afternoon or evening, early evening. It's like late afternoon, early evening, but then I'm going to play Elden Ring. So I'll have stuff to talk about tomorrow for sure. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.